I'm Sasha of Sasha Makes Cards, and welcome to this month's YouTube hop for our Cherry on Top crafts. For June's hop, which, first of all, I just want to say, how crazy is it that we're already in June? The time has been flying by so fast. But anyways, the theme for this month's hop is we're creating projects about our favorite things. And of course, because it's one of my favorite things, I had a lot of fun creating this project. So for this card, I'm using the To the Moon and Back stamp set from Photoplay from the To the Moon and Back collection, and the Tim Holtz Moon Layering Stencil Mask collection. Now you may be wondering, well, what's my favorite thing? So let me tell you. I really like at nighttime watching the night sky, the stars, and the moon. I love it. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about astronomy, but I just love watching the night sky. So I decide, oh, and I also love dinosaurs and the color green. So put it all together, and I decided to create this little dinosaur spaceship nighttime moon card. Yet another one of my favorite things I just thought about is coloring with alcohol markers. I stamped a couple of the images from the stamp set using obsidian ink from Gina K Designs and fussy cut them out using a pair of spring-assisted scissors. You'll see that I did stamp and cut out 2 images, however, I only decided to color the one and use the one in my final card project. So now I just have an extra little dinosaur laying around that I will use in another project. As for the markers I used and the paper and all that, I actually recently created a blog post for the Cherry blog, which I will leave a link for down in the description box below, that actually kind of walks you through some tips and tricks for getting started with alcohol markers and some products and things you might want to invest in to help you get started. I will also leave links down below as well, so if you want to shop some of the different markers that a Cherry on Top carries, then you can do so. Now that my little space dinosaur friend is all colored and cut out, I started to create the background using the stenciling masks and some Distress Oxide ink. For this card, I'm using Black Soot, Mowed Lawn, and Twisted Citron, one of my favorite green color combinations of Distress Oxides, and just ink blended the background. I've actually had this stencil mask set collection, whatever you want to call it, for a while now because I really wanted it, and then I got it, but then I didn't really know what to do with it. Sometimes I think I'm just better at buying craft supplies than I am using it, but that's a issue for another day. But when this hop came around and I saw the little stamp set, I just knew I had to put it with the stencil, and I think it turned out really well. To create the background, I kind of just ink blended what felt right. I first started with the Black Soot, and then I moved on to Mowed Lawn, and then to Twisted Citron. However, I kind of just, throughout making the background, went back and forth between all of the colors, adding some Twisted Citron if it felt right, adding more Black Soot if it felt right, just making a really green and bright galaxy background. Once I was happy with the background, I peeled off the mask. It was quite satisfying to see, and started creating the moon. Now, before I actually put down the second stencil, I started ink blending a little bit of Black Soot onto the moon. I did this with a detailed blending brush. I first started with Black Soot, and then I moved on to the other 2 greens that I was using, and just kind of did it until it felt right, kind of like a moon. Once I was ready, I put down the second stencil and ink blend it the same kind of gradient over top of it, but just with a heavier hand so that it would end up a little darker than what I was just doing here. Detailed blending brushes like the ones I'm using here are really handy to have. I didn't have them for a while, and then I finally got them, and I couldn't believe I had went this long without tiny little detail blending brushes. The ones I'm using here are from Altenew and Spellbinders. I'll be sure to leave the links for them in the description below, so if you want to check them out and start getting yourself some blending brushes if you don't already have some, I highly recommend it. It's great for the little things on your projects and getting in all the little nooks and crannies on layering stencils. Once I was done with the moon, which I love how it turned out, I can't stop looking at it even now that it's done, I started splattering the card because another favorite thing when it comes to card making is splatter and a little bit of a mixed media, messy fun. You can't go wrong with it. So I would just splattered some. First I started splattering with some water with a fan brush, and then some white paint with a fan brush, and then just some black acrylic paint, also with a fan brush. To finish off the card, I glued down my little dinosaur spaceship friend using some liquid adhesive glue, and then stamped the sentiment onto the front of the card. I decided to use the "I love you to the moon and back" sentiment. It was just so cute, and I thought it fit the space perfectly and couldn't resist. As for the ink I used the same ink as earlier, which is the Obsidian ink from Gina K Designs, and then to finish off the card, I glued the card background to an A2 sized card base. That is the completed card project. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the description box below for a complete list of the supplies I used, as well as a list of all the design team members taking part of this hop. I know I can't wait to hop along and see what everybody's favorite things are. I love hearing people talk about their favorite things, but be sure to hop along for a chance to win a $25 gift card to shop at a Cherry on Top Crafts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.